And we are live. We missed last week, so I want to do one this week. I My list of quotes is kind of forever growing. So I don't know how many there are. I always put like a little line to like where I've done them to. So yeah, I don't know. We'll just get through them. Man, this past month it's been heavy, and I'm just getting back in the swing of everything. Like trying to doing things is different than like kind of finding the joy in things. So we're getting there. Um, Before we get too far into it, Black Friday at CSR, November 22nd. There's a ton of us going. So Teak and the Gilbert girls, Lydia, Danny Moody, obviously Phil, I will be there. I think there is going to be like a million people there. Just from looking at the registry and looking at the people that are posting about it. Steve from Whippy Drywall will be there. Nate, Hayden, the whole crew. So that'll be a good day. Aaron and Elliot are coming down. It's going to be a big one. So make sure you get there if you're going to go. Just register. You get a bunch of free stuff. Uh, they got to know like your shirt size and that kind of stuff, I'm sure. Um, so I mean, if you're going, why not? So I'm watching Jordan Peterson this morning, and he's kind of holds it together in an interview with this guy, and then he kind of gets very emotional. And when the guy asks him about it, he kind of starts crying, and he says, "It's really something to see constantly how many people are dying for lack of one encouraging word." Um, and man, there's something real true about that. He goes on to say how easy it is um, to give it, and then being like a net force for good. And man, that is just so important. There's this moment where you know that you could do some good, and are too busy, or there's too much stuff going on, or I got my own problems, or whatever it is. Those little moments of kindness, they mean a lot. They mean a lot to some people on those days. And it is one of those selfless things that you have to do because you're not going to know. You're not going to know what days it's needed, and you're not going to know the good it does sometimes. It's got to be part of who you are. It's a decision that you make. I talk about waking up in the morning and making my decisions to be kind, to do good, to not be a total degenerate, to get my ass up and go to work. Like, you have to make those decisions every morning. And being a net force for good. I like it. Okay, next one. Switch from this is hard to no one else is going to be able to do this. And when you switch that in your mind, you go from for me to for everyone else who's going to try and follow. When I read that, it made me really think about why things don't bother me. Um, it made me think about why I like doing very difficult things. And it's not for the fact that you're going to like rub it in someone's face or anything like that. But it really kind of stems from this. I'm going to do something really hard, and I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities. And when you are doing that, these naysayers and people like that, it's proof. It's proof. Go do it. You go do it. And you know, when that is your state of mind, as opposed to woe is me, things just get way more simple. Way more simple. These things are super hard to not just sit here and reiterate Jordan Peterson. There's like, I listen to a bunch of different motivational people when I need it, reels, all that other kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to like pepper in some stuff in between, but I gotta say a lot of it is from him. Um, he talks about the call to adventure. Uh, your body is made in such a way that it knows the best possible version of yourself, and it guides you towards that. And one of the ways that it does that is in the form of interest. So things that you are naturally interested in, you should pursue it and you should see, because a lot of that stuff, you'll be shocked how good you are at it. And when he was talking about that, he was basically saying, your body, your DNA knows who you are in the end, and it tries to kind of guide you. Um, People ask me what my hobbies are, and I'm like, I don't fucking have any hobbies, but I do. Drywall finishing is kind of my hobby. I get a lot out of it. I get a lot out of it. Um, Running the tools, getting better at it, being a part of the community, like that is what I get a lot of joy from. So, I mean, Instagram, that kind of stuff too. That's a hobby, but those are things that I do for money. And to me, a hobby was always something that you like escaped from work to go do, like video games, go golfing, whatever. Um, so I kind of had that thought the other day of like, maybe those are my hobbies, you know? That is kind of how drywall finishing started for me. I was doing it a couple of times a year, like a couple houses a year. And I don't even mean full houses. Like some of these projects were, 4,000 board feet were big ones, basement or whatever. Um, but that call to adventure, gotta listen to it, man. It's I don't think enough people do. And I think the people that don't are probably sad. Not sad, but not fulfilled. And you could be if you wanted to. Um, it certainly makes life more interesting. I'm about to head out to Ottawa for the week to work with Jamie, and I'm fucking stoked about it. And that just radiates adventure to me. It's a new place, new person, new skills to learn, new techniques to see. Um, and I mean, he's stoked about it too, for the same fucking reason. He wants to see how I do shit, and getting two people that really care in the same room is exciting. Um, yeah. What you should have done doesn't matter. What you shouldn't do anymore is the focus. So worrying about moments in life where you know now what you should have done is a disservice to yourself. Ruminating and reliving shit and beating yourself up over stuff that you should have done differently, you're never going to change it. You're never going to change it. Taking those things and setting a new standard in your life of like, I will not do this again. I didn't like how it felt when it happened. I didn't like the way it made me feel afterwards. You monumentally fuck something up. probably not going to do that again. But the fact that it happened is in the past, and you got to leave it there. Taking life's lessons along with you is very different than taking life's burdens along with you. And that's something that I'm kind of working on right now of just got to leave shit in the past, man. It's you're not going to change it, and you got to accept certain things. And if it bothers you that much that you want to continue to ruin your life about it, just change it. Don't deem that thing you did or thing you said or way you acted, just don't allow it. It's not a thing anymore in your life, and you can move on. It's you don't have to forget what happened, but you don't have to beat yourself up about it either. So that was a good one. Um, where your ability ends, your heart must pay the difference. I was a big fan of this one because if you're growing, if you're becoming a better person, if you're becoming a better tradesman, if you're whatever you're doing that involves growth, your natural ability and your skill set is only going to get you so far. When you're out reaching, you know, um, you're going to hit that point where like I'm not good at this anymore. This is very difficult, or it's very new, or it whatever it is. You have to have your heart put into those things. They have to be something that you want to do. And when you want to get better at something, you have to get over the fact that you are going to suck at it. Um, be passionate about what you do, and that will make up the difference. Um, failure is your friend. We talk about that a lot. You're never going to let everybody down trying to grow. And I think a lot of people are fucking concerned with that. I don't want to let everybody down. You not continuing to grow is letting everybody down. Look at it that way. If you stay the same, you don't grow, you don't get better, you don't find new exciting things that you're good at. That's a letdown. So, um, this is kind of like a gatekeepy thing. Um, there was a big discussion on one of the podcasts that I was listening to, and they didn't put in the time. I think that's where a lot of that gatekeepy stuff comes from. Somebody new and exciting, somebody very naturally talented, shows up and they're fucking awesome at something, or they're getting achievements that took you 10 years to get to that achievement. I feel like certain people automatically want to drag those people back down. Like, no, this isn't shoots and ladders, right? You don't just get to the 10th stage here right off the bat. You've got to do all these other things first. And they want to drag them back down. When I see somebody that has just done that springboard, my first inclination, like the first thing that comes to my mind is, great. What did you miss between point A and point B? And let me catch you up on that quick. And you would be shocked how good that feels. And when somebody did, miss a certain technique, or like even running boxes, right? If somebody doesn't know what they're doing, you try and assist them. Or if somebody really knows what they're doing and you kind of have a little tip or trick or whatever that kind of is the thing that works really good for you, catch them up on it. You know, don't be like, I know a thing he doesn't because I put in more time. and I'm going to keep that and fuck, I hope this person fails. What a sad existence that must be. Um, helping somebody up even when they're better than you, even when they're surpassing you. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Um, there are more terrible things in this world than you could possibly imagine. So letting a few things stop you is crazy. If you're going to worry about terrible things, you've got a lot more to worry about than you think. People that don't do things because they're scared, courage is a hell of a thing. It's good for you. And it's not the absence of fear, it's the ability to move forward when you feel that way. And it's so important. That those moments when you're like, I don't want to go to that thing. I don't want to go to that thing because I don't know what everybody's going to think. Or I don't want to do that thing because I'm going to feel stupid. Or I'm not going to take that shot because what if I miss? What if you miss? Who gives a shit? You tried it. And next time you'll be better when you do it. Um, letting things paralyze you. Got to stop with that. It's or if you're going to worry about stuff, worry about everything. Try that. There's a lot of things to worry about in real life. Um, but I mean, what are you going to do? So is that's going to be your life? You're going to have a very comfortable shit job you don't like because you're afraid to do what you want. You're never going to kiss the girl. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Take chances. You'll be shocked how well you do. Um, being prepared for bad things to happen is different. I'm somewhat prepared and I'm okay with that. But preparing to the point of paralysis over things where you cannot move forward, you are not allowing it because of maybe got to stop doing that. Um, hard work beats talent every day. It's one of my favorite quotes. Comes up all the time, and it's true. Take the most talented person naturally and put them in the same room as somebody that will work circles around them because they're passionate about it, because they have that get up and go, that attitude of like, we're going to hop on a treadmill and I'm going to die before I get off of it. Um, that wins every time. That wins every time. So if you're naturally talented, work hard. Then you got it. But you can't let that stuff limit you either. You don't want to get into something because there's more talented people out there. If you work your ass off, you will very quickly become that talented. It's just the way that it is. Um, goal setting, it's important. Little stupid ones in the beginning, they're important. Get after it. Um, comparison is the thief of joy. That cough button is a lifesaver. I've never given a shit what other people drive or what watch someone's wearing or the partner someone has, or the tools someone runs, or the house people have. I've always looked at things like the amount of effort it would have taken to get there. It's just the way that I work. It's like I see a nice car and I'm like, okay, I can imagine how hard that was to get. And good for you. That's fucking dope. But I never compare my own shit to that because all you're doing is sucking the joy out of your life. Like if you're not loving everything you got, why you got it? Like looking at someone's car or whatever partner, tools, like I said, and going, I wish I had that. Go get it. Just dig your heels into the ground, make a plan, and attack. And you can have those things like comparing. That's like looking at a guy that finished a race already, and you're about to start, and you're like, oh, this fucking he's already done it, and I haven't even started yet. Yeah, run the fucking race. And then at the end, you both are at the same place. But it's your decision that's holding you back, right? Like, I don't know. Comparison. I don't get it. Not in a negative way. I compare myself to a lot of things. It's how I get better at stuff. But it's more of an understanding of the work, not down talk, I guess. That inner monologue, man, it is super, super important, but you need to understand it. You got to know what you're doing to yourself. There's a couple of quotes on that. So we'll get there. Leadership versus being a tyrant. Just because you are at the head of a group does not mean you're a leader. Um, the differences between being a tyrant and being a leader is essentially force. Um, a tyrant demands respect, and a leader earns it. Um, a tyrant demands that you do something a certain way, and a leader lives by, is an example of what he's looking for, or she. Um, if I wanted a site to look a certain way, I fucking do it that way. And, I'll mention it. This is probably the way this should look because I'm in charge. Um, and then I will just do it. And if somebody doesn't do their share of it, I just do that too because you're leading by example. And, on hard days where someone's got to stick around, it's always me. I'm fucking totally okay with that because I would much rather everybody see it, not be told it when it comes to me. Um, doing the hard things. There's hard shit to be done, and not everybody wants to do it. In fact, there are some hard things that nobody wants to fucking do. But be that person. Do the hard stuff, man. Lead by example, and you'll be shocked how quickly everybody comes around. Because when somebody kind of idolizes you or whatever, that all comes back to respect, in my opinion. When somebody respects you, they don't want to let you down. It's just the way that it is. He's doing it. Why can't I do it? Is a much better way of do as I say, not as I do. I have worked for some tyrants, and you never learn anything. You never want to be at work. You don't respect them. And then that most of the time grows this like resentment of, they could never do this without me and all that other kind of shit. It's not good for you. Find a leader and then follow them. You'll get better. Death comes for us all. It's the one and only thing we all have in common. And I thought that was cool. We're You always got something in common with everybody. I think that's kind of where that was coming from. Some people are vastly different. And you know, it shows sometimes. But there's always common ground. If you find that common ground, it makes it easier to deal with some people. And at very least, there you go. There's always common ground. Um, the only way to get good at problems and stress is experience. You just got to get through it. And the next thing might not be as hard. That problem might be solved way faster because you've done it before. Stress is easier to manage when you've done it before. When you do really difficult things, in your mind, it's like, I've seen this before. I've seen worse than this. These problems aren't even problems. They're just the next step. Um, can't let problems and stress take over, man. You just can't do it. It's gonna get you down. But just understand the more you do that stuff, the easier it gets. Regular life is so easy. You spend any time around military guys, nothing fucking bothers them. At least not to the point where it's like a real problem. Because these like hardened dudes and women, they've been through it. So everyday problems are just a fucking non-issue. Because when you get through some hard stuff, it's dropping the bucket when you're stuck in traffic. When the thing you wanted to buy isn't in stock. Some people let that shit ruin their lives, and it's nothing. Anyways, um, everyone is jealous of what you got. No one is jealous of how you got it. Um, People see the trophies, but not the training ground. Um, Wish I knew this guy's name. It's a jacked guy, big beard. It's true. That goes back to comparison, jealousy, like all those types of things. Um, People want sponsorships and people want, free stuff and whatever, but they don't see what the work is. They don't see all the things that the person that's getting these things has done. The nice car takes work, takes a lot of fucking work to get the things that you want. And along the way, people recognize that and they go, yeah, this guy's working really fucking hard. I would love I would love to be a part of that. You know, it's the trophies are nice, but the training ground is, you know, to a person like me, that's better. Going through it, kicking ass. I would much rather do that than have a trophy I didn't earn. Um, so my parents' place last night. My sister's dog is there. So my throat is like, I'm like hawk tuing and not the right hawk tuing. Um, there's nothing better to have than a problem worth solving. And the key word in that sentence is worth. I very early in life figured out that I was a problem solver and I loved that shit. And I mean, I would probably be sick to my stomach if there was a book of all of the problems that I've tried to solve in my life. because a lot of them weren't worth the effort, you know? Um, Focusing on things that are worth it, you get a lot done. You get a lot of good stuff done. Trying to fix every problem all the time, you're scatterbrained. You're all over the place. There's nothing better than a problem worth solving. It's it. I love it. Knowledge does not sink in through osmosis. You can't fill a room with knowledge and walk out a smarter person. Can't do it. It's takes work. Man, this episode should just be called "It Takes Work." Like, I mean, um, you have to put in the necessary work. You have to. When it comes to things like experience and knowledge, sharpening that sword, you gotta sharpen it. It doesn't, it, you want to learn something, you've got to immerse yourself in it for sure. But then you also have to do it and experience it. And that's where it all comes from. You can't just put 20 books on your bed and then go lay on them, have a nap, and wake up and think that you've learned it. It's you just can't do it. It's not how life works. And it's important to know that. Surrounding yourself with knowledge is a good idea, but you got to do the work. Put the time in. 5 minutes a week, 5 minutes a day doesn't seem like much. Do some basic math on that over 5 years. You'll be pretty impressed what you can do. Um, the end of times. When the worst shit is going on, some people refer to that as the end of times. And this quote is the worst part of the end of times is it never fucking is. It never is. That that's big. Because you can look at that a few different ways where you think this is bad, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse every time. Life's gonna throw you stuff. The other way of looking at that is you also have to live afterwards. So you got to figure it out. Some of the worst shit is going to happen, and you're going to have to figure out how to move on. How does life, and sometimes that means like falling apart and putting yourself back together. And sometimes when you do that, you're different. There's nothing wrong with that. That is growth, and growth is important. Sometimes you got to do a reboot, and there are going to be things that you've set a different set of standards. Uh, I don't know. It's risky for sure because some people aren't going to like the new you. They're not. You're not the same. You don't do the same things for them. You aren't as appealing somehow. It's not something you do for everyone else. You're going to have to do it on your own for yourself and then see who sticks around. And I mean, when you are unapologetically yourself, people are looking for that. And if you're exactly who you are, um, the people like that will find you. They can find you because you're, sending it out into the world or whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know. The biggest risk to your future is not your competition. It's the distractions you insist on keeping in your life rather than doing the things you know you should be doing. A lot of people talk to me about time. I don't have time. You got fucking lots of time. You do. It's you just got to figure out where it's going. Got a hole in your bucket. You don't know where the fucking hole is. You're gonna have an empty bucket. Not gonna have any. Figure out where your holes are. I've been home with Brawley all week. He came home from Italy. We did a couple of cool things, but like most of the time, we just spent time together. And I got my report of like my daily phone usage. It was 10 hours. 10 hours. That's more than a shift at work every day on that phone. And it's what we were doing. So I'm happy with it. But when I saw that number, I was shocked. I imagine these people that don't have any time to do what they want, don't have any time to accomplish their goals. I think a lot of it's being spent on that phone. Just take a look at it. All your phones have it. Just check. But crying to people that are finding the time and using it as an excuse that you don't have time, you do. You got lots of it. So, um, excuses are one of those things, man. Telling yourself that something's okay because it's what you want to do, okay, then do that. But you don't need to make excuses to tell yourself it's okay. Just tell yourself it's okay. Be honest with yourself. I don't give a fuck. So I'm going to do this. Not, oh, I was gonna, but, there's probably this other thing and whatever. Don't do that. All you're doing is reinforcing the fact that you don't need to do the things that you need to do because XYZ. Um, it's not good for your brain. So I would tell you to stop doing it because I'm so smart. Um, a great man is hard on himself. A small man is hard on others. Anytime I see it, anytime I see somebody being shitty, I feel so bad for them. And sometimes you want to strangle those people for sure. That's natural. But people that are putting other people down are small. And if you can get that through your head quick, will do you a lot of good in life. Anybody who is a naysayer is not doing their own shit. And that's why they're doing it. Anybody that doesn't like your achievements, for one, is not your friend. So who gives a shit what they think? But two, they're not doing it. If you're running up a hill, there's a guy up at the top. He's going to tell you, yeah, I'm up here, man. This is dope up here. Should should keep coming. There's also going to be people behind you up that hill going, you'll never get there, if you should probably give up. That looks like a big hill. It's a lot of work to get up that hill. And as soon as you give up, they go, see, I don't have to go up this hill. Nobody can do it. This guy can't do it. Even though they're coaching you not to do it, they're telling you no. They're being a shit influence on your life. Can't listen to those people. Look up the hill. Find the guy at the top of the hill and listen to that guy. Um, because you've got to be hard on somebody. And if it's yourself, it's a lot of good stuff comes from that. Don't beat yourself up all the time. But I mean, hold yourself to standards that are higher than what you're used to. Like if you want to be tough on somebody, be tough on yourself. And the other beautiful part about that is you could turn that shit off any day of the week. Last week I did fucking nothing. And I was okay with it because I decided that that's what I was doing. Um, we didn't have anything going on, no work, no whatever. Like I booked it that way. I just enjoyed myself. but that is not the standard that I hold myself to, you know? And I think next week's going to prove that we're back into full swing. It's I head out there, I come back to a site. There's possibility of heading to Alberta to do a custom job. Like there is full swing coming down the pipe. So very exciting. You don't build trust by offering help. You build trust by asking for it. I liked that because I took a look at all the people that I trust and I've helped all of them and they've helped me, but it's not one side or the other. People that I am constantly helping and never ask, or people that are constantly helping me and never ask, makes you wonder, right? It's you build trust by offering it first. Um, it's a neat, it's a neat little quote. Uh, if you want to test a man's character, give him power. That kind of goes back to that tyrant thing. I've seen people absolutely change where, their successes grant them power and they change. It's they're now better than people. And because they're better, they act it. I just never think I'm better than anything. I just don't get it because I don't care. You know, it's I like finding, I like searching for people that I'm not better than, and I try and surround myself with them. It's I being the best is super boring. Some of these people aren't even the best. They just think they are. And I mean, that's fucking delusional, in my opinion. Um, you look back at like kings, that's like all powerful. And you could do a lot of good if you wanted to. But if you abuse it, maybe your shit is good, but everyone else's isn't. And in the presence of power, it almost immediately comes out. Um, think about it. Think about all the people in your core group. What would happen if they won the lottery? Would you even ever see them again? Would it turn into a parade of all the new stuff that they got themselves and how much better they are because of that? How much better they are than you? Or would it be like a community thing where everybody's winning all the time and the money doesn't change them? It's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. What you want to find, what you most want to find, will be found where you least want to look. All those little things that you're not doing, those are what's keeping you from what you want. 100% every time. Putting in the extra hours, covering up the floors so you don't have to scrape them. All little things. If there is a dark corner somewhere and you don't want to go, you should go. Check it out. You'd be surprised what you find there. Um, I would rather be hated for who I truly am than be adored for something I'm not. Uh, I just sleep way better being exactly who I am. I make good friendships. Your work is better. Your personality is better. Your head is less clogged with a bunch of shit. Uh, I would so much rather be hated for being me than live some sort of lie to make everyone else happy. And I think that's why that one stuck. I don't know. I have written down the man in the iron mask. Um, would your life change? And I think what got me on that was just, are you getting by based on your looks? Are you getting by based on how you act? Um, which I mean is deeper than that because it's a conversation of the easy route. Are you leaning on things that are just easy and you're getting through life like that, or are people attracted to you because of what you do? Because I'm telling you, you get into a horrible car accident tomorrow and not look like you anymore. That could happen in an instant. And then what? You know how shattering that would be for somebody to think that they're like loved and respected all over the place, and then in an instant that all changes. Crazy. That would be crazy. Focus on what you do. Focus on how you act. Make that what's appealing about you. um I always call it the curse of beauty, because a lot of people are doing the opposite of that, where they are working their ass off, and because of the way that they look, people don't see it. It's not the first thing they see. It's not what they notice. It's not what they tie to you. And that sucks. So when you're not abusing it, it also sucks. that's why I must be why I'm so happy. um Success is getting what you want. Fulfillment is doing what you're meant to do. And yes, I think I'm pretty successful, but that feeling of knowing that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, go find that, man. Go, be successful, do whatever the fuck you want. But if you don't have that feeling of fulfillment, of like how awesome everything is, how awesome you are for doing what you should be doing, you have natural talents. You're, and that's in all kinds of stuff, like kindness and friendship and being a part of a community, doing good. All those things come real easy when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's a different life. I say all the time, man, if you don't like what's going on in your life, in 5 years, you could be doing anything. Maybe not brain surgery. Maybe that'll take a little longer, but you could be walking down that path. You'd be pretty far into that path in 5 years. Um, any of the trades, if you work your ass off at it for 5 years, you will be an expert. You just got to find the right teacher. You got to find the right situation. But even by yourself with Google, you know, hop on YouTube, you'll figure shit out. 5 years from now, you could have that fulfillment. And there's sacrifice in that. I get it. But there doesn't have to be. You can make a plan, do your shit in your evenings, get good at shit in your evenings. Don't go quit your job and then not feed your kids because you're searching for fulfillment. That's dumb. But find that thing. Find something that you would do for free and then charge money for it. Simple. Um, this too shall pass. And the last month has been hard. Um, but any feelings, man, happiness included. The good things, this too shall pass. Things are going to be good forever. Things are going to be bad forever. I think people get stuck. They get stuck on things are going to be good forever. And then when they're not, their whole fucking world crashes. People also get stuck on this is going to suck forever. My life sucks forever now. And, take a look at the suicide rates, man. Don't get stuck in that shit. Things pass, the storm settles. Um, and on the other end of that spectrum, if things are really good right now, appreciate that every day because things aren't great forever all the time. And I mean, if they are for you, kudos. Um, I'd love to see it. Um, strong men in hard, strong men in hard times become stronger. Weak men in hard times become weaker. And that's just, we've talked about that. It's pressure and stress is just an amplification of who you are. You're not going to turn a switch on when things get stressful and become better. You're not. It's the being better on the smaller days, on the smaller tasks. It comes from the small decisions to be better. Um, and it's true, man. I've seen a lot of strong men and women put into very stressful situations and they adapt pretty fucking quick too. And I've also seen the other side of it. You put a weak person into a group setting where it's stressful and they plummet. Now, if you put them in the right situation around a bunch of strong people, maybe they'll adapt them, but it's a personal decision. You have to be formidable as a person. Being weak it's not good. And I don't mean physically, I mean everything mentally. Not having the ability to articulate what you want or what you need, it is weakness. You got to be formidable. Dopamine is not about the pursuit of pleasure. It's about the pleasure of the pursuit. I think, well, I mean, people that get into drugs, same fucking thing. If you are chasing dopamine, the feel good, you don't know. That's the what makes you feel good about stuff. Um, you can totally get that. You want to go get drunk or do whatever you want to do, that'll feel good probably. Um, but to me, the pursuit is the win. It's the process. It's, you know, loving the path, not the end. And when you wrap your head around that, it's good times. It's always good times because you're not looking for the treasure at the end of the path. You're enjoying the scenery. You're enjoying the steps in between. I mean, when I hit a goal, I kind of think it sucks because it's like, well, that's over now. So what's the next one? Because I enjoy the process of getting there sometimes. And then sometimes I'm like, yeah, I got the gold. um, everybody's got a conscience. This is just like a paragraph that I wrote myself. So your conscience, that little voice in the back of your head, that is a necessity. It is a necessary part of the machine that is you. It reminds you of things. It shows you patterns. It tells you what's right and wrong on the inside, and it's your opinion. Sometimes it's your parents, sometimes it's your peers. That conscience picks up on a lot of things. There's another little voice, and that's doubt. Doubt is not a necessity, and it is not a part of the machine that is you. It is your own bullshit, or it's everyone else's bullshit, and it does you zero good. Doubting yourself is what's going to stop you from everything you want to do. Listening to other people tell you you can't do shit and then going, yeah, I guess I can't. Why? Why would you listen to that? Why would you listen to it when it's in your head? You're in control of all of that. You do not need to doubt yourself, period. If I come across shit that I'm like, I couldn't do that, typically I will go do that. And it will fucking suck, probably. I'm coloring with my daughter the other day, and I'm like, I wonder if I could like draw a good picture. And so I tried, turned out kind of dope. But I was like, I'll never, I can't do that. I follow a bunch of like creators now, people that are artistic. Because once upon a time, so was I. And I kind of lost that. And I had that thought the other day. I was like, man, I could never do some of this stuff. And like within the week, I'm trying. Um, yeah, I did. Fucked out. Don't do it. But believing in yourself is one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself. And if you are a crazy person like I am, you will believe that you can do all kinds of stuff that you can't yet. But that's a far better answer than nah, probably not, probably can't do that. Being doubtful, get it out of your head because your kids see that, your friends see that, your partner sees that, and they don't believe it. So what the fuck are you believing it for? Oh, anterior mid singular cortex. Ass. I must have thought that I was going to remember what that means. Um, okay. Uh, don't burn bridges to light your way. Stepping over people, fucking people over to look better, or stealing customers, putting people down to look better. Why? Just be better. And I know that's a stupid thing to say because it's hard. But fucking do it. Do the hard stuff. Earn it. It's so much better for you. It's so much better for you. Knocking people down so you're the tallest one is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I don't do it. And then what? You're the winner by yourself? Cool. Do that till you're 90. When you're fucking lonely because nobody wants to be around you because all you do is fuck people over. Good luck with that. It's not the way to do shit. You know, doing things and having to live with the things that you do are very different. It's super easy to take the easy way, but living with the fact that you took the easy way, you may never get over that. So, something to think about. Stop saying things that make you weak. To a lot of people out there, it's like 90% of what they say. Like when you are saying things out loud, your brain is registering that stuff as the truth. So portraying yourself in a weak way is making you weak. Again, Totally unnecessary. There's no need for it. It does nobody any good. And you should be your biggest fan. If you're not, like I don't get it. You know, there is people out there that are in situations where there is not a lot of cheerleading, and that's fine. But you're the one that's supposed to be cheerleading. But putting it out into the world that you suck or that you're weak or letting people walk all over you all the time, you've got to live with that. People don't know it's what you're doing. So if you stop doing it, again, I think you'll be shocked. Stop wasting time, i.e., drinking bullshit, shitty friends. That's just stop doing it. That goes back to the time thing. I don't have time. Yeah, you do. You're just a dumbass with it. And you figure that out, you'll be happier. You're gonna have more time to do things that you want. You're gonna have more times to get better at stuff. Stop wasting time. If anything has been taught to us in the last month here, you can be at a time so quick, then you're gonna have none. And then I mean, if you gotta watch a reel of all the shit that you did, all that wasted time. I don't know. Ego runs from suffering because suffering is the death of ego. It humbles you. You think you're a tough guy? Go to a jiu-jitsu studio and have somebody a 30 your size strangle you. It's very humbling. um, suffering's not bad. Suffering's just a word. Doing things that are particularly awesome for a goal, that's suffering. It is what it is, but it's good. It's good for you. Gets rid of that ego. Anybody that I've met with a huge ego is one of two things. Like small and weak, usually, or like a fucking superhero. And I mean, you want to be a superhero with a huge ego? Go ahead. Like you have earned it. You are better, stronger, faster. Sure. But if you're not, settle down. There's no need for it. Um, Ego is the success inhibitor. I think The Rock said that, and it's so true. You'll never become successful thinking that you're the best at something. Like everybody's got something to learn, everybody's got something to put in. Like the weakest member of the team still has things to contribute, and somebody with a huge ego doesn't think so. And you miss out on stuff. Simple as that. Uh, Complaining is easy, executing is hard. Bitching about stuff. That's what we're talking about. My life, whatever reason. You know how easy that is? Just cry about shit all the time, and not do anything. It's not super appealing for the people around you either. It's when I have people come to me with their problems, my first question is, what are you doing about it? Like what are the steps in place that you are doing something about it? And when they're like, no, what I'm doing about it's just fucking complaining to my friends. Okay. Good luck with that. But that will typically be the last conversation that I have about it with that person. Cause it's like you're just a time suck. You just want me to fucking do it for you. Like I don't know what you want. Um, and sometimes people that's hard for people, but you have to. Yeah. Um, I don't run a team. I coach a team. My dad said that a couple of weeks ago, probably a couple months ago. And I wrote it down right away. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I got this thing. I write quotes down." And it's leadership. When I think of a person running a team, it means that they are, they've built a machine and they know how to run it and it's efficient and whatever. When I think of a coach, that person knows about your home life. Person cares about you. They want to see you succeed. And when you are coaching people as opposed to, leading, it's different. It's different. There are situations where you just have to run. And it is what it is. Massive companies, you have to just run your teams. You have to. It is what it is. I get it. There's a certain amount of efficiency that has to go on. Not everybody can do it, but I am way closer to a coach than I am somebody who runs teams. I like to get to know people. I like to get to know their strengths, their weaknesses, where they can get better and where they can probably chill for a bit because they're up there. And, you know, sharpening an axe till forever while you got a dull knife next to you, you know, axe is sharp, dude. Pick up the knife, sharpen that knife. It's important. It's also important to know what's going on with your people. You got somebody that's fucking life is falling apart and you could help them. You should probably know about that. And if you are just running a team, they're not gonna you're not gonna have the relationship where they tell you for one. But for two, it's not gonna be important enough to do. And you really do have to figure that shit out. Uh, doubt can only be removed by action. And we just had a big talk about doubt. Um, and we basically said that. Like, if you don't think you can do something, go fucking do it and fail. And then do it again. And then do it again, do it again, do it again. And at some point, you don't want to that will also tell you what is important to you. If you are failing and failing and failing and failing, and you don't have the drive to get up and fail again, it is not important to you. Move on. I have tried things and gone, nope. And I sleep great at night. That is not failing. Like failing, trying again, failing, and then deciding that that's not for you because I fucking this is not important enough to put the work in. There's nothing wrong with that. It's growth. It's figuring out what you don't want to do is just as important as figuring out what you do want to do. I think some people don't even fucking start things because they're just like, no, I can't do it. Criticism is the tragic expression of unmet needs. Hurt people hurt people. Uh, another paragraph, dude. Like, I'm just waiting for some of these to just be drunk paragraphs where they don't make any fucking sense. But some of them, it is. This is just talking about difficult stuff. So when I'm doing a big site and I'm doing those like 10 and 12 and 15-hour days and getting stuff done and I'm waking up, getting in the car, going to work to come home to go to bed. I get messages about that must be difficult. Um, losing a loved one is difficult. Seeing your kids get sick, like the big things are difficult. Um, the fact that I have the ability to go to work every day and do what I love is a luxury. It's a fucking gift. And yeah, man, some days are long. But it is what it is. Do you want to do it or do you not want to do it? Because if you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it. Go find something else to do. talking about what you do every day as this enormous difficulty that is weighing down on your life, then you need to change it. Like you can't just bitch about stuff all the time. Because when real difficulty comes around, you're going to fall apart. And then what? And then, well, putting myself back together is difficult. Yeah, no shit. It is a downward spiral. Um, this was all right. The door to my heart will always be open, but I've renovated the front porch and you'll have to step up to reach it these days. I liked that. Basically, this comes back to raising your standards. Not everybody deserves to know you intimately, and not everybody deserves to be your friend. Always be kind to people, but that doesn't mean everybody's got to be close to you. I think a lot of us think fair, and you got to be fair to everyone and all that kind of stuff. But like, if somebody isn't up to snuff with your morals, or they do shit that you just don't like, I don't do that kind of shit. I don't really want that stuff done around me. Same thing. You can be friends with people, but those people you don't have to put the time in on. You don't owe them. Um, Intimacy is a funny word, but I mean, to know somebody really, you don't have to give that up to everybody. You don't. It's just the way that it is. Um, and it's important not to, because then you will spend that time on the people that deserve it. You'll have more of it. You'll have more of yourself to give. If you don't have a lineup of people that don't deserve it, step up or get the fuck off my porch. It's simple as that. Uh, just because something is hard to obtain does not make it valuable. Expensive car. I don't know what is with me today in expensive cars. I don't have any idea. Um, it would be very difficult for me to get a Rolex. I would have to put a lot of work into it. I think some of these are like $70,000. Like, watches you can get in $1 million watches. But if somebody gifted me one, I wouldn't know what to do with it. It would be a fucking watch. I would break it 100% or lose it. I don't, it is not valuable to me. Um, so just because something's difficult doesn't mean it's valuable. Um, you create what's valuable to you. And really, you're the only one that knows. Um, enjoy being in the process of becoming. We're starting to fucking overlap on a lot of these. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you're capable of living. You can make that decision. You don't have to kick ass, man. Like coming home every day to a wife and kids, and living a simple life, and, you know, going on family vacations that are not trips to, wherever. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to enjoy getting to where you're going. Like you have to find the passion. And I just don't know how I would live being less than what I could be. It's just tough. I see it all the time. And, knowing that you can be doing better must keep people up at night, man. because it certainly keeps me up when I'm not ringing the bell, when I'm not like kicking ass, when I'm not progressing. It just feels less than, and it's unacceptable to me. Um, Good. We're fucking done. All right. Well, I think that was like an hour. Good enough. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm gonna put this out tonight, and for everybody listening, good for sticking in. Hopping on here and just like fucking rambling for an hour. It's good for me. It's nice to go through those quotes and just kind of like talk about what I thought was cool about them. I'm sure this is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's not really for you, so it's fine. um, Black Friday, November 22nd. Make sure that you come. Make sure that you register, and we have some cool stuff coming out. We're making t-shirts for Cam. Um, we've got them all figured out. It's just all the back end stuff now. They should be available by Black Friday, we hope. If not, we'll be doing pre-sales or something. But yeah, you'll see those coming along in the next little while here, and it's just donations. So we're going to give all the proceeds to his family, and then they can do what they want with it. They're going to put it towards the church or whatever they want to do. So look out for that. Come and see everybody on Black Friday, and keep your chin up. Do good things. Don't be a bad person. Okay. Be humble. Treat everyone the same and do your fucking job.